Hello and welcome back to Kahaniya Calling. We are back after a long time and today we bring to you an interesting story from the city of New York. Let's hear the story from Dad.
Soapy got restless on his seat. His seat was the bench in the garden of Madison Square. There were certain signs to show that winter was coming. The birds started flying towards the south. The women became exceptionally nice to their husbands because they wanted good, nice, warm coats to save themselves from the biting winter. And trees started shedding their leaves. At such time, one dead leaf fell on the foot of Soapy. This was a special sign for him that winter is around the corner and he has to fend for himself for the coming 3 months, which will be biting cold winter in the New York. Unlike the rich New Yorkers who had plans to go to seashore of Mediterranean Sea or to fly to Florida, Soapy had a very simple plan. He wanted to go to Blackwell Island. That would provide him good shelter from the biting wind as well as food for regular days and bed to sleep every night. That's all he cared about and that's all he wanted. But at the same time, the rich people were sailing down the ship to the warmer areas and had exclusive plans for themselves. Soapy thought to himself that perhaps Blackwell Island is the best place to be. In fact, he could get food and shelter in the city as well. There were enough places and he could move from one building to another every day. But then they would not ask for money, but they would make him do something or the other in lieu of the food and the shelter that he got. They would also ask him about his life and some uncomfortable questions which he never wanted to answer. No, prison is better. That's what Soapy thought. And he thought, okay, the best way to go to prison would be, and he was thinking, and he thought, okay, the best way to go to prison is go to a good, nice restaurant, have a hearty meal, and then just refuse to pay. And then they would call the cops and his dream will be fulfilled. So, with this plan in mind, which seemed relatively very easy, he moved to the high streets and the upscale areas near the Madison Square. And he thought that, okay, my coat is nice, my face is clean, but my trousers and is torn and shoes are broken. I don't think people will bother about that. I'm looking decent, and when I sit on a table, the top part will only be visible. So with this in mind, he went there and he came across a large restaurant which was brightly lit. He thought, this is the place. And he started visualizing the dinner, sumptuous dinner that he would have. So the only thing was to get to a table. So he started getting into the restaurant. But then he was stopped by a head waiter who saw that he had broken shoes and he was definitely not presentable, because this place was one where the best food was served and people in the best manners and best dressing and the best amount of money used to come. So of course he was not allowed. He was politely and happily turned away. Soapy was a little sad. He didn't think that he will be turned away like this. So anyways, with this thought, he started moving again. And at the corner of a high street, he saw a beautiful, huge showroom which was completely made of glass. And he thought, okay, I have found a solution. And he saw a cop nearby. So he picked up a stone and threw hard on the glass, and it broke the glass. Immediately people start rushing there to the spot, and the first among them was a New York cop. He said, "Did you see who did that?" Soapy looked at the cop and said, "Why don't you think it could be me?" He smiled. The cop thought, well, nobody would ever throw a stone and just be there. They would rather run away as fast as they can. So this man is certainly joking. And he saw another man running. He thought, okay, he is the man. And the cop went after him. Soapy was disappointed again. What the heck? I broke such a precious glass just to go to the prison. But this cop doesn't seem to believe me. Anyways, okay, let me try my luck somewhere else. So he again started moving to a lesser happening area. And again, he came across a good restaurant, though not as high class and pricey as the earlier one. And it looked decent to him. He thought, okay, this would be good. The bill will not be too much. And I wouldn't really get the restaurant people really angry. So he entered, and interestingly, he was not stopped. He went to a table, ate to his heart's content, and he thought, okay, this would be enough for me till the time I reach the Blackwell Island prison. And then when the time came for the bill, he said, money and I are strangers. I have no money to pay. So why don't you call a cop? You shouldn't make a gentleman wait for so long. The waiter picked him, and he felt another strong arm holding him. So another waiter was there. They brought him to the door and threw him away. They said, no cop for you. You don't deserve that. Get lost. And he got up, shaking the dust from his clothes and realizing, what was it? Why didn't they even call a cop even now? Why is it that I am third time unsuccessful? But nevertheless, he thought, okay, I have to keep trying because it's biting cold and I need to protect myself. So he went further, and after half a mile, he saw a young and pretty woman looking at the window of a shop. And he thought, yes, I will try to trouble this lady, and of course she will hand me over to the cop and my job will be done. This time I will be successful. So he went close to that lady and he saw a large cop already watching him. So the lady came a little away from the cop and he said, hey Belinda, would you want to play with me? Come along. And he thought, just one wave from the lady is needed and the arm of the cop will be on his shoulder and he will be arrested. But to his surprise, she seemed interested in him. She took him by the arm and said, hey Mike, I would love to if you buy me a drink. In fact, I wanted to connect with you before, but I was just afraid of the cop. And they started moving. Soapy thought, what the heck is going on? And as soon as he reached the corner, he shook her hand and ran away as fast as he could, thinking, what is going on? Why is he not able to get arrested? So he finally stopped by at a place which was very lively and full of theatres, and he saw a large number of cops there. He thought, okay, I have this brilliant idea, this is bound to work. He thought, okay. And he started shouting and behaving like a drunkard and creating a lot of ruckus there. And he went very close to the cops as well. But again, cops did not arrest him. In fact, the cop was telling a common man there that he must be one of those college students and we have orders, not to punish them. So I think he will not do any harm. And after shouting for a long time, when he really got tired, he said, what the heck is wrong with the cops? Do they think am I like a king who can make no mistakes? I really don't get it. He was quite disappointed. Multiple attempts had failed. So finally he saw a shop nearby where a man was buying newspaper and he had left his umbrella outside. He quietly went there, picked up the umbrella, made some noise so that the man noticed him, and he started moving. The owner of the umbrella came following him and said, hey, give me this umbrella. This umbrella is mine. Soapy said, well, I have taken the umbrella. Why don't you call the cops? But this man himself, the umbrella man, was a thief. He had stolen the umbrella from someone. So he said, okay, I found this umbrella in a restaurant in the morning, so it could be yours. Okay, I'm sorry, and he ran away. And Soapy said, it's mine? This umbrella is mine? He was really frustrated. The cops were seeing him, but again, there was nothing for them to arrest him. He got so frustrated, he picked up the umbrella and threw it as far as he could in frustration. And he thought, I don't know what's wrong, but he was frustrated and he kept on walking. And he thought, okay, let me go back to my home. And home was nothing, but it was a seat on the bench in one of the parks in Madison Square. He said, let me go back. And in deep thoughts, with deep frustration, he was walking. And he came across an old church from one of the windows. He saw some soft light coming and some soft music playing. He got very interested in that and stopped there. The music was like the anthem that he could relate to long back, when he had good thoughts, friends, clean clothes, flowers, mother, and all that a decent man could have. And he began realizing, with the music going on, with the anthem going on, how could I stoop so low? What am I doing with my life? I am trying to go to a prison for 2 meals a day and to get protection from this biting cold and to have a place to sleep. Can't I earn this on my own? I am very young. I am capable. And I remember one of the men had offered me a job. I will find him tomorrow and try to get the job. I will be something in this world. I will. And then he realized a strong hand on his shoulder. He turned around and he saw a broad-faced cop. who was asking him, "What are you doing around hanging here?" He said, "Nothing." And the cop said, "Do you think I should believe you?" And with this new spirit, with this new fervor that he recently got, he started arguing with the cop. And arguing with the New York cops is never advisable. They are very hard to deal with. "Come along," said the cop. And he arrested him and took him away. And the next day, he was brought in front of the judge. The judge sentenced him to a 3 months prison in Blackwell Island.
From this story, we learn that we need to be mindful about what we wish for in life because you never know that it may come true. Looking forward for your comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share our channel and do leave your comments.